What is going on, guys and girls? It is GhostRobo, and The Last of Us is coming to the PlayStation 4. Joining me today is Game Riot, my favorite friend of the YouTube land. Yeah, and this game has been getting a ton of buzz. We've talked a little bit about it, how it's a remastered edition or a remake or what's going on. But right now we have even more concrete details, which is a release date, and we've seen two different ones. We've seen June 13th and June 20th. Which do you think it will be?
Is this for the remastered edition?
Yes, this is for the PlayStation 4.
So I reckon it will be the same date as when it first originally came out, sort of an anniversary. So I think probably the 13th. Hopefully. The sooner the better.
E3 is the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So, like you said, that would be the exact same time frame as when they put it out last year for the the original PlayStation 3 version. At the same time, that's a little... I don't know. I guess it could go either, but either way, it definitely looks like it's coming the 13th or the 20th, and I think it's a really smart play because then at their conference they can say, we've got this big PlayStation 4 game, even though it's a remastered, and it's coming right now, and that's like a really good power play, sort of like how Apple does that with iPads or iPods or iPhones, like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. It's a nice move that you can make and kind of build excitement and not have it be 6 months delayed. It's like coming next week or coming this week. So I think that's a smart move. But we've also heard stuff about the DLC, which you were telling me has gotten all sorts of crazy all of a sudden.
It's got really, very messy. So basically, I think it's $10 for non-season pass owners for the maps, and then it goes on to the weapons, which is another $5, and then there's a set of skills for. Sorry, the weapons are $6 for 4 weapons, which is a silent assault rifle, a double barrel, an enforcer, which is an accurate pistol, and a launcher. And it jumps onto the skills, which there's 2 sets of skills you can buy, which is $3.99. So
and there's also grounded mode, which is supposedly a more difficult single player mode, which is also $5. So they've gotten really strange all of a sudden.
Yeah,
and now
it's a bit odd. The
release dates are not totally confirmed, but Amazon, Target, Best Buy are all listing them. So I think they're pretty much. I think it's pretty much going to be the 20th or maybe the 13th. But this stuff is 1,000% confirmed. Sony announced all these bundles today, and instead of just calling it Reclaim Territory Map Pack, they're calling it the Grounded Bundle. And it kind of seems like they're trying to make a last hurrah to make some money. I don't know. It just seems so strange that they're going to be selling us the PlayStation 4 version. But I think your point is correct that by making this expensive, it makes you more likely to buy
the PS4 version,
the bundled version, because you're like, oh my god, this whole thing.
Well, yeah, the season pass, yeah.
If you do the season pass, you get it for free.
Yeah, and personally, I bought the map packs separately because I wasn't sure I was going to buy them all eventually, but I probably will. Now I feel like I've been screwed over a bit because I bought the 2 map packs separately, and then all of a sudden just come up with all this random stuff where they're all charging it for it separately. It just was a little bit weird.
And
the way they've gone about it.
They're removing, I don't know if you saw this, but they're removing the season pass. Which
weird.
I mean, again, this is a great move for fans to re-release The Last of Us. It's a great move for people that don't have an Xbox 360, but it's just a total. It's so much about money, and it's a little weird and awkward that they're trying to charge $6 for guns and $5 for a new difficulty. I don't know, and then free for a season pass. It seems odd, but I like the fact that at least you get all of it. The whole thing in the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, I guess they do bundle everything in with one version, but I just feel even stuff like difficulty pack. I mean, why am I being charged $5 to do a new difficulty? Apparently it's very good. Apparently the AI is very brutal, intelligent and stuff, but is it really worth it? That's a mode they should have included within the game itself. It just feels very, very odd.
What it sounds like to me is that they spent time on stuff for the PlayStation 4 version and now just want to get extra return on their investment.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it does seem silly, but it's weird because previously the map pack was just maps with new customization options. So I like the fact that they're including actual guns and new skills. That really does freshen up the multiplayer, but the structure is just weird. And it says after May 13th, the season pass will no longer be available. So you get a huge discount.
Is that when it's coming out then? Is that when?
Yeah, they weren't clear on this grounded DLC. No. It's definitely in the PS4 version, but it's supposed to come out first on PS3. They said that they're going to be streaming it on April 24th, that the season pass ends on the 13th. They announced a fundraiser on this May 17th. So there's
must be around that time, surely.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that again, it's just like you said, $5 for DLC. That increases the thing. But at the same time, the season pass is $20, so you could easily get all of this for. They're quoting it as 80% off.
That's if you get obviously the other DLC before that. But I bought the Left Behind DLC. I bought the 2 map packs.
It's just a very strange. So strange.
I've been screwed.
What's possibly more strange though is I've heard talk from journalists that Sony is going to be pushing this like a AAA new release because they are afraid they don't have enough exclusives for this year, with worry that The Order might not even make it this year, Uncharted probably for sure not making it, and that would leave them with virtually nothing exclusive to PS4. Does that worry you?
You said they're gonna focus on Destiny, you said, didn't they?
Yeah,
and put full frontal behind like exclusive content for Destiny and all that sort of stuff.
Right, and in the same way that Call of Duty has like commercials and it pops up the Xbox logo at the end, have it try to make it seem like Destiny is a PS property. It's a PlayStation game, even though it technically will be on everything. So
I've heard apparently from the Xbox, the big new boss, he's saying at E3 we're going to be announcing a lot of games. It's purely going to be about the games, and that makes me slightly nervous. As perhaps if someone owns a PS4. I mean, I'm hoping at obviously E3 Sony's going to come out there and just show us loads of games. I'm sure developers and publishers have come on board because the PS4 has been so popular and sold so many consoles that I think they're probably going to notice the PS4 a little bit and perhaps see some more exclusives on that console. We don't know.
I would hope so. I mean, It could also be an interesting ebb and flow. Microsoft sort of bit the bullet, charged more, had a lot of negative publicity, but we do know that they spent way more money on courting developers and locking down exclusives than Sony. Yeah. They got Titanfall. They've done plenty of things in the past, like with the Grand Theft Auto 4 DLC, so on and so forth. Could this be a resurgence for Xbox One? We've always talked about they have more exclusives. They possibly have the better, overall game package. Could this be a point where Microsoft comes in and announces, 3 big new games for Xbox One, shows more of Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, a little bit of Halo, and Sony comes out with Last of Us Remastered and, maybe a teaser trailer for Guerrilla Games' next project, The Order, an Uncharted 4 snippet, and seems kind of barren.
I mean, I honestly think, though, if I hadn't played Last of Us and I just bought PS4, that could be my game of the year this year, that Last of Us Remastered edition.
That's true.
I think that's how good this game is. I mean, I know it's a bit soon, but I think for that price, I think with all this DLC now, I think it does make... The price makes a bit more sense to me as well, perhaps.
It's totally worth it, for sure.
Yeah.
As people who have already played it, though, spending, your $400 on the system, and in the first year, you're looking at Killzone, which was kind of shaky, Infamous, which was really good, and The Last of Us.
Resogun was quite good.
Resogun was a free game we got on launch day. I don't know. It's just something that's always concerned me. They have a very heavy indie focus, but I've been worried that is masking a AAA lacking. And Microsoft, whether they have a better system, whether they sell better, money talks. And so if Microsoft comes to you with $20 million for exclusivity or however much the deal is, I don't think it matters so much that Sony has an early lead. I think you're going to take that money and hope to invest in the platform. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that shakes out on those press conference mornings in mid-June.
Definitely. I honestly feel, I mean, we both own both consoles. I think we sort of agree that the PS4 is the better console, but I think with the Xbox One, definitely has the better games at the moment and also going forward this year especially. But I think perhaps next year is when the PS4 games kick in and then I think they'll come back. But this year I am worried about the PS4 lacking games.
And it just feels like deja vu because this was the same problem that they had before.
And then the PS3 catched up, didn't it?
Right.
The PS3 got Last of Us and Uncharted and stuff.
They had the more powerful system, and then there was just a dearth of games. They had their main franchises, God of War, Uncharted, Resistance. And, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen a new God of War, a new Resistance, not even rumblings of something like that. Maybe they surprise us.
Resistance apparently has been scrapped completely. Apparently the last game sold so badly.
For God of War?
No, for Resistance.
Oh, for Resistance, okay.
Resistance sold like nothing, apparently. It just didn't do well at all.
Well, the Vita version was terrible, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard it was a good first-person shooter for that console, but that was all I heard.
The Killzone I thought was good, but Resistance I I don't know. The Vita is a weird beast all in itself, but let us know in the comments below what you guys think about the PlayStation 4, where it's headed, what you want to see from it this year, and also if you like the idea of The Last of Us on PS4. I think both of us, from our comments last time, realized that like everybody loves the idea of Last of Us on PS4. Is that what you thought as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally excited about it, but
so am I. I'm definitely going to play it. I was surprised that everybody was like, "Take my money, we'll pay for it."
Take my money now.
Kind of crazy, but they definitely will be taking your money, whether it's with the DLC or with the PS4 version. Hopefully, they'll take our money with another cool game, but we'll have to wait for that. Scott, thank you for joining.
No problem.
Check out his channel, link in the description below, as always. And until next time, guys and girls, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, and we will see you all later.